Hello, I'm Stephen Gay. This is Instructional Leadership, and I'm interviewing my administrator, Mike Allison, and we're going to talk about how principals can influence leading change in education. All right, this is Mr. Allison. Mr. Allison, what are some of the roles each person plays in completing our ACIP and technology plan?
Well, some of the roles, of course, is your leadership. The leadership team is the principal, assistant principal. You have parents, students, you have teacher representatives. We try to have all grade levels and/or subject levels represented in the high school level. The principal usually helps organize the plan, but he's not the one that actually writes the plan. We include all the stakeholders. You have different parts of the plan that are assigned to different teacher groups. And those teacher leaders then seek information from the teachers that are not on the team to help with the input. So it's several parts of the plan, and it just kind of comes together as we do it. And of course, the principal is going to take the final audit and edit of the plan and make sure things fall within policy and guidelines of the Board of Education.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, how do these positions, the people making the plan, influence student achievement in our school?
Well, I mean, they all influence student achievement. You know, from the principal, who is the academic leader of the school, who is kind of helped setting guidelines and policies, who's making sure that the teachers follow the course progressions, making sure the teachers are following the course of study. But also, you've got the teachers who's got to implement the progressions and course of study. They've got to have the flexibility to kind of put their own spin on things and kind of help. You don't want to take all that flexibility away from the teacher. And of course, the student and parents are big stakeholders. The students need to give a good faith effort in the education process, and really we need parent involvement too to make sure everything is moving in the right direction.
Parent involvement. Okay. How do these leaders determine priorities across the school so that the school's vision and mission are accomplished?
Well, I mean, you start off by looking at the course of study, then what's required, then what you're going to teach in the 9 weeks with the progressions. So you got to have that basic format to formulate the curriculum. And everybody plays a part in creating the vision and mission of the school, but it's the principal his job is to help lead that vision, but it's also the teacher's job to help guide the students through the vision and mission of the school, which the ultimate goal is academic achievement and student learning.
Okay. Talking about technology here, how have the roles of technology and comprehensive improvement evolved since you first entered education?
Well, one of the big things that we see now is in comprehensive improvement is growth models. Before, growth has really not been a big issue in some of our accountability. They always just kind of looked at the final, how high was your achievement. But now we're looking at total achievement, and we're also looking at growth models. How far did you move a kid from point A to point B? Well, maybe their achievement is lower than maybe some other students, but they made tremendous growth. Well, we're going to consider that kid a success. And I think that's the big difference. Technology, basically from paper, pencil, now almost everything is an online format, from computers in every school to apps. Back in the day, overhead projectors was considered technology, and teachers today, especially young teachers just now getting a profession, they kind of laugh at that idea. So.
All right. How are your roles and responsibilities different between middle and high school?
I think there's a lot of similarities in all grade levels. We all have a vision and mission for our school, but just different ways to get there. I think in the lower grades, especially at elementary school, you have more parent involvement than what we do at the high school. So I think that can be a big difference. I guess parents think when their kids get to a certain age that they don't need to be as involved, and in my opinion, I think high school age kids probably need more of a parent involvement than they do when the little ones. So that's one big thing that is a difference between what I'm doing and maybe what an elementary or middle school principal is doing. Is just trying to encourage these parents to stay involved with their children.
All right. What changes do you see that need to be made to have a greater impact on positive student achievement?
The big one, we just mentioned a while ago, is parental participation in the learning process. I think that's huge. That's one. And the next thing is we don't need to have cookie cutter instructions. I believe cookie cutter instructional material, you, especially in reading, you get box sets or whatnot, and you're going to do everything this way, this way, this way, this way. I think you got to have a curriculum, you got to have a course study, you got to have a progression. But the teacher has got to have, they're the expert in their field, they've got to have the flexibility to take that curriculum and teach it the way they see fit. And so I think by giving teachers flexibility in teaching the curriculum and involving parents in the education process, I think those are probably two of the greatest things in improving achievement.
Okay. So they can use their method and still teach the standards. Okay, using their particular skills. That's good. All right. Last question: how do these positions impact the decision making of school and school system leaders? And if so, how?
Well, the positions, what we're looking at is principal, assistant principal, superintendent, and school board. All of these positions have various roles. The school board is the overall policy maker. And when they make policy, they're going to hire the people to make these recommendations to approve or not approve. So they play a big part in developing the vision of the school system. The superintendent is next on the line, and he's going to have his visions, but ultimately he's going to want to kind of carry out what the school board's vision. And same thing with the principal. The principal is going to kind of put their own spin on the school while taking some things from the superintendent all the way down to the assistant principal who is helping the principal lead. So it starts at the top, and it's kind of a trickle-down effect of that. But the ultimate goal with all four of these positions, the principal, assistant principal, superintendent, school board, we all need to be on the same page, and so we can move forward. I think where some school systems have problems, and fortunately our system is not like that, because I believe we are all on the same page. But some school systems, is you got these four groups of people all doing their own different thing, and I think that could cause issues.
No collaboration.
Yeah, no collaboration. So fortunately, we're not like that. So that's kind of where I see that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Allison.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.